You guys know how we do it, man. You got to keep the RS3 clean. I love that big 5-cylinder energy. What's happening, guys? We are back at it again today for another installment on the Audi RS3 series. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. We've got an excellent library of automotive content. Your support is much appreciated. So as the title would suggest, today's video we're going to be talking about if the Audi RS3 can be a good daily driver. Now the first thing we need to establish before we get into the specifics of the RS3, and that is the fact that the 3 Series Audis, you've got the A3, S3, and RS3, all of these models are very compact cars, so they don't have a whole lot of space. Headroom, legroom, trunk space, backseat space is going to be pretty limited. So that's going to be probably the main thing you want to bear in mind if you're thinking about getting one of these cars, is just know that you're not going to have an abundance of space. So what to expect as far as overall suspension and ride quality with the RS3? So it goes without saying, the mag ride cars, even with the adjustable driving modes, putting the cars in comfort or dynamic, you obviously have the flexibility to fine-tune the suspension. Even driving in comfort mode, the ride quality of the RS3 is still extremely firm. If you're coming from other models, I can definitely see where the RS3 might be a little bit on the firm side and might not necessarily be the most comfortable. Especially if you live in an area where you might have some rough roads, there's construction or a bunch of potholes, definitely can be a bit jarring if you're going over a lot of bumps. Now, one thing I have done on my personal RS3 is I have gone with a little bit more sidewall as far as the tires. I did make a video about the wheel reveal on this project, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. With the factory size having that 30 sidewall, I actually went with a little bit beefier profile, running the 245 3519s all the way around. So I do think this makes a nice improvement, and again, it's going to come down to your selection as far as your quality of tire as well. Comparing the suspension on the A3 to the RS3, as you would expect, 2 completely different worlds. The A3 being more of an economy car, has a fantastic, soft, cushy ride. The RS3, think of it as like what you would get out of a BMW M car. It's much lower to the ground, it's much stiffer, however the handling is far superior. The RS model feels a lot more confident when taking turns in more spirited driving conditions. So on a more positive note, let's talk about where the RS3 really shines. As you guys know, it's commonly known, the RS3 is just an absolute weapon of a car. I mean, if you want that aggressive, that mind-blowing acceleration, this is going to be the car for you. You've got a fantastic ecosystem of bolt-on upgrades. These cars can make a lot of power with fairly minimal efforts. If you're driving around town just ripping from one stoplight to the other, this car is an absolute blast to drive. If you want to really pass somebody on the highway, look no further. This car is an absolute riot to drive. Now, the next thing I like to cover with the RS3 platform is the fact that this car, in many ways, it keeps a rather stealthy, low profile. It's not a car that really draws that much attention to itself. In a lot of cases, for people that don't really know cars, it's basically just going to blend in with any other Audi sedan. Unless you have some ridiculous head-turning aesthetic modifications, the RS3 pretty much just blends in, and I'm a huge fan of that. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you'll know I'm not the biggest fan of like doing any like super flashy cosmetic mods. I tend to keep things more of like a clean OEM plus style, and I like the fact that this car really does simply blend in. You know, in a lot of ways, the RS3 is a fantastic sleeper. That's going to be another area where it kind of differs with the TTRS. A lot of people are going to describe that as like a mini R8, which I could definitely see some of the inspiration with the front end styling. If you want to keep that subtle, understated, low profile, I think the RS3 is going to be the way to go. It is really fun to drive because the people that do know the car, it's one of those things, if you know, you know. And definitely it's always a positive experience when you get like a friendly wave or, you know, people make a positive comment. It's always fun and appreciated. Absolute animal, bro. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, as I've described in other videos, man, it's just like you feel the entire earth moving behind you. So overall, guys, going full circle, I'm going to say the RS3, as we've well established, is a fantastic platform. Like any car, it's going to have its strengths and weaknesses. It's going to have some pros and cons. So I would really consider, if you're looking at buying a car as a dedicated daily driver, based on what we've discussed, I'm going to say this may not be the best choice. Again, you do have the limitations of not having a whole lot of interior space, trunk space is lacking, ride quality is a bit on the harsh side. So if you're going to be doing a lot of commuting, if you're taking some longer road trips, if you have family, if you've got pets, you probably want to consider looking at other models. Now, if you have to make do with the RS3 as the only car, I think it will get the job done, but you just need to prepare yourself and have realistic expectations. One of my next projects on this car is getting the whole front end redone. You can see I've got a lot of rock chips on this hood, which definitely angers me quite a bit, you know, as a car person. So certainly looking forward to getting that cleaned up and get the RS3 back up to standards. Thank you guys for checking out today's video. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the very end of the video. I definitely appreciate your commitment and support. Want to do everything I can going forward to provide you guys that steady supply of enjoyable content. The past couple years have been very challenging. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and some of you guys may or may not know, the process of creating content can be very challenging at times. So I want to keep doing everything I can to keep things moving in the right direction. So again, I want to make a point to say that I really appreciate all the viewership, all the engagements, all the likes, all the shares, all the comments. It really means a lot, and I appreciate you guys being here for the journey. If you guys happen to be working on any projects with your own vehicles, I'll be sure to leave an applicable link in the description box down below, just in case you guys need to pick up any parts, whether it be service or performance related. Once again, I do appreciate your commitment and support. Thanks again for watching. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.